Hello and welcome back. Hi, sis.
Hi.
Well, we're on lesson 20, moving right along.
Mm.
I'm
Lesson.
asking, do you feel to read? Do you feel to read?
I'll read this one. Yes.
Okay.
And then you can read the next one.
Sure, that'll work. Thank you.
Lesson 20. I am determined to see. We have been quite casual about our practice periods thus far. There has been virtually no attempt to direct the time for undertaking them. Minimal effort has been required, and not even active cooperation and interest have been asked. This approach has been intentional and very carefully planned. We have not lost sight of the crucial importance of the reversal of your thinking. The salvation of the world depends on it.
That's
Wow.
big.
Isn't that big? Can I just read that part again?
Yes.
I'll go. Okay.
Yeah.
We have not lost sight of the crucial importance of the reversal of your thinking. The salvation of the world depends on it. Wow.
Important. Is anything more important than the reversal of our thinking?
Obviously not. Yet you will not see if you regard yourself as being coerced, and if you give in to resentment and opposition.
Wow, yours says, see, it says, yet you will not succeed if you regard yourself as being coerced and if you give in to resentment and opposition.
Is that what yours says?
Yeah.
Can you read that again, please?
Yet you will not succeed if you regard yourself as being coerced and if you give in to resentment and opposition.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, the wording.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yours says, yet you will not see.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Keep going.
yes, please.
This is our first attempt to introduce structure. Do not misconstrue it as an effort to exert force or pressure. You want salvation. You want to be happy. You want peace. You do not have them now because your mind is totally undisciplined, and you cannot distinguish between joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain, love and fear. You are now learning how to tell them apart, and great indeed will be your reward.
Do we want to flesh that out a little bit?
Yeah, thanks, sis. Thanks for helping with that.
Yeah. So we don't have salvation, happiness, or peace now because our mind is totally undisciplined, meaning we're thinking with the ego thought system. And using that thought system, we cannot distinguish between joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain, love and fear. Well, we certainly think from the outset that we do know the difference between joy and sorrow, what's pleasurable and what's painful, and the difference between love and fear. Let's just take the last one there, love and fear. Well, we know the love as the world teaches it. We know a special kind of love.
Yeah, special human love.
Yeah.
That is based on what we've been taught in the world, is based on the laws of specialness, right? Human laws,
Right.
not on a love that cannot be threatened.
Right. So human love is changeable and it can change in an instant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So we don't know anything about the love of God. So right now we think that a fearful love is love, right? Okay. And while we seek pleasure through the body, and we come to learn that the body is really the ego's defense against God, well, we learn that there is no pleasure in the body. Real pleasure is doing the will of God, is experiencing his love. So this will all be fleshed out as we move along, but really through the ego thought system, we don't have a clue what joy, real pleasure, and real love are. We're just choosing between ego symbols.
Yeah, and what we tend to do is through the ego's filter is we're looking for our completion, we're looking for our fulfillment in the body, in special relationships, in the world. And what we don't realize through the ego filter is that we are looking for guilt, and it's unconscious, it's deeply unconscious. And that guilt is the self-attack that the ego needs to perpetuate itself in our mind, right?
Right.
And we'll unpack this more deeply as we go further into the lessons. Yeah. So what we do here in the world is we seek for our completion, our fulfillment. We seek for love in all the wrong places.
Right.
And so the mechanism of that thinking has to be reversed.
Which is the salvation of the world.
Yes.
How important is this? So wonderful. So we don't even know that we have an option until we start recognizing. Yes, thanks, sis. That was beautifully explained.
Thank you. Okay, so we're up to paragraph 3.
Yes.
Your decision to see is all that vision requires. Now he's not talking about vision as we're accustomed to through the body's eyes. I would call that physical sight. But when he speaks about vision, he's speaking about Christ vision, which is very, very natural to the truth or the holy self that we are beneath the ego's filter.
Right.
Right? So your decision to see is all that vision requires. We don't do the vision. Holy Spirit does it for us. Thank God. Right? So what you want is yours. Do not mistake the little effort that is asked of you for an indication that our goal is of little worth. Can the salvation of the world be a trivial purpose? And whenever I hear that ping, I always feel that's Jesus saying, yes, confirming it, right? And can the world be saved if you are not saved? God has one Son, and he is the resurrection and the life. That one Son, that one unified mind is us, joined, unified in that one mind of Christ, right? His will is done because all power is given him in heaven and on earth, where we believe we are here now. Okay. In your determination to see is vision given you. And that's why this lesson is, I am determined to see.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed, he's saying your decision to see is all that Christ vision requires. I mean, it is the Holy Spirit or Christ that is doing the viewing, the vision, but we first have to make that decision that that's what we want, right? And in the last sentence, in your determination to see is vision given you. What you want is yours. It's, so the laws here are what we desire is, again, for previous lessons, what we're experiencing, our desire, our one desire. That's the power we seem to have here. That what we want or what we desire singularly is exactly what we're going to be experiencing. So when we make this determination to truly see or see with the Christ, it will be given us.
Yes, and beautifully explained. And just to support what you've just said there, it's when we express our desire to do these lessons, and particularly this lesson today too, right? I am determined to see. What we're actually doing is we're giving permission to Holy Spirit to come in and to really reverse our thinking. That's what we're doing. Okay. Yeah. So it's always to lead to happiness and joy and real, true fulfillment. Holy Spirit, I think it's not too premature to bring this in, or maybe we've already mentioned it, but Holy Spirit never brings us lessons to increase our fear.
No.
He never brings us lessons of pain.
Right.
Never. All right.
That's the beauty of the love and the grace of God, that Holy Spirit only ever meets us where we're at upon our invitation. It waits, it never coerces, and it never forces itself. And that is why our determination or our desire has to be singular, because Holy Spirit can't join us while we are like a pendulum swinging between, I want to see the ego's creations and what I think that I have made independently from God. And then when that gets bad, I swing over and I say, okay, God, I want to see the truth here. And then, but we swing back. It's just like daily. We're just so undecided that the Holy Spirit has nothing to work with until we are so undivided and say, okay, I have had enough. I really am determined now to see. I don't know what it is, but I know what I don't want. And now it's the call and the prayer, which is our desire, is just to see with Holy Spirit. I want Christ's vision.
Okay, so paragraph 4 in I am determined to see. The exercises for today consist in reminding yourself throughout the day that you want to see. Today's idea also tacitly implies the recognition that you do not see now, right? Therefore, as you repeat the idea, you're stating that you are determined to change your present state for a better one, and one you really want. Repeat today's idea slowly and positively, at least twice an hour today, attempting to do so every half hour. Do not be distressed if you forget to do so, but make a real effort to remember. The extra repetitions should be applied to any situation, person, or event that upsets you. That's really important. Okay, so during the day, if you lose your peace and you get triggered by somebody or something, remember to apply this lesson, which is I am determined to see. And what you're asking for is you're determined to see this differently. In other words, you're determined to let the Holy Spirit see it for you. Okay, real vision. Yeah. You can see these things that upset you, you can see them differently, and you will. What you desire, you will see. That is such a powerful sentence. What you desire, you will see. Such is the real law of cause and effect as it operates in the world. And he's speaking about in the world that we believe we're in right now. We always see what we desire. And, so most of us will say, yeah, but if we see death and destruction everywhere and war and all of that, I don't desire that. Well, no, because you haven't seen yet or wanted to see what the ego is showing you or projecting out there. But once you engage in the lessons and allow Holy Spirit to undo the ego's filter of seeing through sight and through the other body's senses, Christ vision comes up naturally. and repurposes, divinely repurposes everything that we previously believed in and that we thought we saw through the body's 5 senses, through the ego filter.
Right. Yes.
Did you want to add to that, sis?
No, yeah, thank you. And sorry about that. A lot of people have my Zoom room, so I was surprised, but somebody tried to pop in. But anyhow, I hope that wasn't too distracting from what Nouk was saying, because that was perfect. So what I find so comforting, though, is that there is something to see instead of what is being seen through physical sense. The kingdom of heaven is spread out everywhere. It's all around us, and yet we're not seeing it, which was the whole point of the belief in separation and the use of an ego thought system, which is, of course, a distortion. It's an overlay on what is always right here. So there's always a real picture, a real vision, a real reality to sense and experience for us that God has given us. And we will have that when that is what we singularly desire. It's always beautiful, it's perfect, peaceful. It's God. So we can see God instead of war, instead of disease, instead of signs of death. It's there for us to see. Why wouldn't we want to see it? And the salvation of the world depends on our determination to see. So what an awesome opportunity. Not homework, but what an opportunity that is always before us. I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay. Are you determined to see? I am. Thanks, sis.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next time.